Hello, I'm your host Ismail Chels, and welcome back to Storytime Thursdays. Today's video is audiobook for Chapter 5, Part 2 of The Rising Tides of the Great Battle for Amerikhanta. But upon arriving, his wife told him that their youngest son, Syed, Arda, and Ares were all captured by Orc Lord Dracovian and his army and taken to the Fortress of Shadows in Arizona Sinelu. After finding that out, Arn immediately set out to rescue his youngest sons from the army of the dark. So he left South Carolina, Kylia, and took the train to Arizona Sinelu. Upon arriving, he entered the Fortress of Shadows and proceeded to go to the top floor of the fortress in order to rescue his young sons. As soon as he arrived at the top of the fortress, he said to Lord Lazarus Nazariev, "Let my sons go this instant, you vile being of darkness." With hearing that, Lord Lazarus said, "Oh, I don't think so. I'm going to offer them as sacrifices to the ancient evil god of laugh and decay, Lord Asmodeus Dracarian Ahazu." Now with hearing that, Arn said, "You vile being of darkness, you better not harm my sons." Then Arn drew out his sword and ran at Lord Lazarus Nazariev. But when he did, Lord Lazarus quickly drew out his sword and severely wounded Arn. Then Lord Lazarus grabbed Arn and threw him to the floor and pointed his sword at him. Then the Lord of the Shadow Council prepared to slay Arn, but before he could, Arn managed to grab his sword and wounded Lord Lazarus and got up from the floor despite his wound. Then he rescued his 3 young sons and made their way out of the Fortress of Shadows. But not too long after they left the fortress, Lord Lazarus aimed his bow at Arn and shot a few arrows at him, which caused him to collapse to the ground. When that happened, his young sons, Syed, Ares, and Arda, all sat next to their father, where they started to shake their father's shoulders in an attempt to wake him up. But due to his wounds, he stayed there unconscious for quite some time. So as he was laying unconscious, the Lord of the Council of Shadows walked over to him and raised his sword. Then said, "Time to meet your fate and say goodbye to your lectured, restored kingdom, weak and pathetic soldier and king." Then he began lowering his sword towards him. Thanks for watching. See you all again tomorrow for audiobook of Chapter 6, Part 1 of The Rising Tides of the Great Battle for Americanta. Like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure to hit that little notification bell so you don't miss a video.